and I used to be a bruta. Goons for you, guruta. Girl, you're my rasta fena. You take me cool and see anybody want a point, I make a shoot and girl, I piwa. Alla man, batty man, chuka. But if you need a fire, I'll be a ladder. Please be judging. Put me on trial. If you think I hurt ya, put me underwater. Take me cutter. I don't need the I love you. Ooh, whoa. Can you see that? I love you. Ooh. Can you see? Say, I love you. Whoa. Ooh. I love you. Ooh. I love you. If you need a fire, I'll be a ladder. Please be judging. Put me on trial. If you think I hurt ya, put me underwater. Take me cutter. I don't need the I love you. Ooh, whoa. Can you see that? I love you. Whoa. Can you see? Say, I love you. Whoa. Ooh, I love you. Ooh, I love you.
It's STG.
This is still Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. I'm sure you guys are wondering what's up with all the love song. Of course, it's the month of love. And yes, we're giving you guys a shout out. We love you guys and we'll always love you guys. You know, keep watching Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. Yes, but you know what we do? We bring you greatness every single time. And guess what we have in the studio? Calm down, I'll tell you. He was previously known as Alale, a.k.a. Lil Ja. He first burst into the music scene in 2009 with his hit song, Give Me Your Love. In 2014, he was signed to Davido's music label, which was then HKN. And then Dennis Della Yola King is a Nigerian-born Ghanaian who is multi-talented as he can rap, sing, and dance as well. His dual background gives him the ability to fuse different styles of culture into his music, which makes him versatile. He's got a new tune, Baby Bear. Baby. We really can't say that. And we can't help but love it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcomes DMW's very own DK.
Hey.
Gedeme. What does that mean? That's my first word, Gedeme.
That's actually my mom's language. You know, my mom's Ghanaian. She's Ewe from the Volta region of Ghana. And Gedeme means like when they permit you to enter. When you are permitted to enter somewhere. Like when you knock now and I say Gedeme, or you hear the beats and you are asked to go in. Like rap on the beats or sing. So that's what it means, or breakthrough.
That's what I heard though. I thought you were saying, because I was going to ask you when you got to the table, that why would you say something like Ebebe? Like I was trying to be like an imbe or something.
No, Baby Bear. It's just
okay,
you know.
Baby. That's my new song. Like I just dropped the video. I actually dropped the song last year. And because of COVID and all that, and I had a problem with the video, I shot it in Ghana.
Okay.
So I had to wait for a while. So when I went back to Ghana, I sorted it and got the video.
Yeah, because that was released February 4th or something. It was very recently.
All right. So let's talk about, you know, transitioning from HKN to DMW. You know, you started the whole journey with Davido, you know, the whole HKN. You're in that video, right? You're in that video.
I was not in Damidro.
Okay, you're not in Damidro, but you've been in a series of old videos, right? So you started that journey with them, and then to see DMW to where they have progressed. Now, what is that one lesson that you know that, man, I saw with this journey that you will keep you grounded as an artist yourself?
Patience and realness.
Explain.
Why?
Yeah, because it's actually a very stressful, tiring, and long journey if you think about it. And some people come, they try, and then they have to go because, you know, if you don't have the heart for it, you can't do it. And at the same time, you know, I've met wonderful people through David. Shout out OBO. You know, the baddest, the real goats, the bearded goats that I know. And he's been wonderful as a friend, as a brother, and as a CEO, if you get what I mean. And as a good leader too, because he brought so many people under his umbrella. And we can mention a couple and a lot that are doing very, very well, you know. So
there was this time that it was said that you both had a disagreement, and it
was not me. It was not me and David. We never had a disagreement.
Yes, but when it listed the artists from HKN that were transitioning to DMW, your name wasn't involved. Yes, this is over 2 years, but you haven't really shed light on that incident. So we really want you to touch on it.
Okay, he didn't list
DK as
he
part
didn't
of the artists.
he didn't list HKN artists getting into DMW. What actually happened with DMW was he had a deal with Sony, which he had to use a new platform for to sign the deal. So he needed a new record label. He was still the owner of HKN. Nothing changed. It was still him. The disagreements was not between me and David. We never had a disagreement. It was between someone else, which I don't want to bring up the name.
Yeah.
The person was not even part of the
I was
family.
the person part of your management or something?
No, the person was not part of the management, part of the family. The person was just a mutual friend. You get, so it was not anything serious. You know,
All right.
so I
Okay,
felt
but you mentioned before with the first answer that, it's not easy and not everyone can stay in the journey for a long time.
Yeah.
But, you've also been in the game for a long time. Why would you say that is? Because, I mean, what do you think you have to give that you keep saying, I'm going to be in this industry, I'm going to keep staying here? Because you just said it's not easy.
I have talent, and from my songs you can tell. If even myself, if I knew I didn't, I won't be here. Do you understand? So I know what I have, and I know what I'm trying to give, and I know what I've been giving.
Okay, then let's talk about your music journey. I mean, everybody knows you as DMW. That's great. But I want to know about you even before then. Like from a young age, did you know
What's
that
your
this is?
story like?
Yeah, did you know that this is what you wanted to always do? Did you go to music school? Did you learn this, or was it just something that you just found yourself in? Like, what's your journey?
Okay, me at a point I wanted to do music, but my mom is this very. She's from she gave birth to me in deeper life, if you understand.
Oh
what I mean.
wow.
So like she's grounded
same
in
as me,
Christ.
actually.
She doesn't want to hear any N-word or cursing or she's just very strict when it comes to God and how you live your life. And I thank God for that upbringing because it took me far. So at that point I just said, man, this music, I know she won't agree, Joe, let me just free it. So I had to go to school. So I went to school, studied building technology, came out as an engineering
Did you school
student.
in Nigeria or Ghana?
I schooled in Ghana.
Okay.
Came out as an engineering student, did my national service in Ghana. And then she was like, okay, you've done very well. Like now you could go on and do the music. I was like, okay, cool, since she's permitted me. So that's Get Em In. That's how I have this big tattoo.
That's how they let you
It
into
means a
the-
lot to me.
They let you into the building.
Yeah, so for her to give me the go ahead, that was a big deal for me. And since then, me and David have been cool. She speaks to David all the time. They are friends too. She prays for all of us. She's just there, and she's doing what she has to do as a mother.
Okay, so then this year, what are your plans for music? Like, what are you
Already
going to give us
dropped
more?
Bebe.
Yeah, which is good. We're still digesting that.
Oh,
That's
that
still-
one,
drop that,
I don't even
so-
allow you guys digest it because I think I used to allow too much time for digestion.
Yeah.
Now I'm not doing that.
Okay.
This year I have a couple materials that are going to be coming out. I have like a couple singles, 3 singles to release with videos before my EP.
When
So
is
it's
your
going
EP
to be a
this year?
busy year, yeah.
Okay, so can you give us more about your singles? What are they? What are they about? Do they have any features on them?
I want to release 3 singles, just me.
Okay,
But the EP has features.
you want to give us names?
I don't think I should drop names.
Why? On Tea Time, you
They're
don't
from
spill
Ghana,
anything.
Niger. you
Okay,
can- yeah.
what letter?
At least
does-
one.
Eh.
Mention one.
At least one. Oh, I have Kwesi Atta. Do you know Kwesi
Yeah,
Atta?
Kwesi
we
Atta.
do.
Yeah, I have medical.
Round up, Charlie.
Now you're going to start.
You have medical as
Yeah, I
well.
have medical. I
Dope.
have Mugies.
What about producers? Who
Shot
are you
the
working
video
with
already.
with producers?
The next single I'm about to drop was produced by Phantom. Phantom and the Beats. It's called, okay, let me just
No,
It's
go
coming
on,
out
go on.
soon, Sha, in the videos.
How
so I
soon
like
is
the
soon?
fact.
Like end of this month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I like the fact that you acknowledged yourself that you give too much room, because I remember at some point I'll be banging to this DK song like, yo, DK is fire, man, DK is fire, man. Then you just sleep on us for a while and you're not dropping. What you think, what was causing that? Because, I was speaking to someone who claims to know you very well. So, DK gets very, comfortable when he drops a song. DK, he's just all about the money. He really doesn't need the money. He really doesn't need the money. He really doesn't need the money.
we need
Is
the
that
money.
the case? That you don't need the music money, so you just do it for fun and you drop once in a while
Well,
and you're about to,
Not really the case. It's not that we don't need the money. We need the money. In life you need money. So anything that's a talent that God gave me. I know it's to give me money. So why wouldn't I?
So what was causing the, break,
delays,
the
yeah.
delay,
Yeah,
giving us
things
back
pop
to back?
up. Family matters come up. You have to do a couple things before time has gone. It's a lot of things. Not anything in particular.
Okay, you're giving me vibe now
What
that
is
the music
DK,
is
sorry,
not.
hold
Okay,
up. What
yeah.
is DK going to be doing differently in 2021, to be consistent with the music industry?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Making music.
Dropping more songs.
Please, I want
Dropping
to-
more
I
songs,
wanna-
back to
Yeah.
back. Oh. You can't sleep on us this time,
Don't
right?
worry.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Please, I
talk
want
too much
you.
about.
I want to ask because you're giving me vibes like you have your hands in other things apart from music. Is there something else you're doing?
Yeah, I sell clothes. Should I put it that way? I have a
Okay.
website. If you want to pick up like wares, like what I'm wearing.
Is it for just
No,
for
I
males?
like fashion. So not for males alone. Girls too have bags.
And you make them
sunglasses.
yourself?
I don't make them.
All right, so I'm curious. What is an ideal studio session for DK? What has to be there for the studio session to be fire?
Please don't
Yeah, one.
Green food.
What? I was gonna ask what type of food actually. Green food. Great. And what
Okay,
else?
so
That's all you,
avocado.
I don't like veggies.
you don't like veggies, but green food.
Avocados. What else
I don't
is
know
green?
about avocados.
Yeah, but you green food. We already the land is green.
Just veggies.
And money.
Yes, and good instruments around, if you know what I mean. Like the beat has to keep me going for
Do you
me to want to
produce
record.
your stuff?
No, but I've added to some productions, like suggested a couple things that I wanted to hear.
So do you have an A&R, like a team that you work with, or
Yeah,
it's just
I'm
vibes? What's your A&R?
I have my team, but Asa helps with everything. The plug.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm signed to him.
Okay.
But I have a team under that too to help me on my own personal stuff.
Right.
All right, so what's a day in the life of DK like? When you get out of bed, what are the first 10 things you do?
Get out of bed, get some veggies. Go to the toilet. I sit on the toilet for like 1 hour with the lights out, my phone, and then listen to some music in the morning,
Okay.
dance a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I think you've counted a few things. There's a rumor going around that DMW people rather, don't like to feature women. And I mean, except
They
from
have
Davido.
I think they're like the only ones for the female artists. How can they
No,
not?
they're not the only ones with female artists. But I want to know, because you are also one of those people that don't work with women, and I don't know why that is. Are we going to see you?
I work with a female producer now.
I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
but-
female producers. I'm talking, I'm talking about like proper features with women. I didn't know women in the industry. Like, is that
Yeah,
something that
can you suggest like some 4 women I can work with?
Tiwa Savage,
Yeah, that will happen.
Thames,
Yes.
Amari, what's her name? It is Amari. Who else?
Simi.
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 Tenny. Tenny.
Okay. All right, we're running out of time, but we want to quickly play
Okay.
a game with you. In the spirit of Valentine, we'll be revealing our worst love or relationship secrets. So yes, the first question is, tell me about your worst date experience. This is for you. Let's start
Worst
with
date?
experience. Maybe we'll play this on Monday, but let's play with it. Yeah.
I have to think.
Do you even date?
Do you date? That's the first question. Your worst date
I
experience.
date,
you know?
son.
Yeah.
Who
So what's your
doesn't
worst
date?
date experience? Tell us.
The worst,
You can't remember any. All right, let's-
see, I barely go on dates.
Yeah.
But I date.
Have you ever gone on a blind date? And how did it go?
What was a blind date? Do I have to see the person before?
No,
I'm
you wouldn't have
You
seen
wouldn't have seen the person. You're just
Spoken on
talking,
the
and
phone.
yeah, you don't know what the person
Okay.
looks like.
Yeah,
done
I've
that
done that now.
Okay, how was
how
it?
was it?
Instagram, different
Was it
things.
nice?
Yes. So.
It was okay.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
ever searched for love using a dating app?
No,
You've never joined Tinder before?
God forbid.
Is it not good for me? Have you ever fallen in love at first sight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Who is she?
Are you
My
single?
ex. No, I'm not.
Okay.
All right.
My ex.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So have you ever expected more than you got from a date?
What does that mean?
Yes, so. Yes, so.
What
But I was
does that
still
mean?
thinking about that happening. Sha. It's not that.
Oh my goodness.
So you were thinking about it, but you got more.
Yeah, but I
Okay. That's how we wrap up the show. Thank you very much. And yes, in
Thank
case you're
you.
wondering, just tell the people where they can find you on social media. And of course, your new song. Tell them where they can find it and all
Yeah,
that.
so you know what it is. Your boy DK Gedeme of DMW. If you want to find my new song, it's called Baby Baby. It's out. The video is on YouTube. Banging Baby Baby, Bebebe. So that's Baby
Baby.
Deaf and dumb.
Don't talk
Like you
too
can't
much.
talk.
All right, man. So we need to say no more as we will be wrapping up right now. I wish we had more time, but unfortunately, that is all we can take today. But thank you for watching. Join the conversation on social media with the hashtag #TeaTime or tweet at us at +TV Africa. Remember, you can catch up on our previous episode, including this one, and all our exclusive contents by subscribing to our YouTube channel at +TV Africa. You can also watch Tea Time on Alto TV and in London on Ben Television. A big thank you goes out to my co-anchor, Ifeoluwa Omai, and of course, Quincy Jones, who had to step down due to social distancing, for keeping it jiggy, and of course, the entire production team. Thank you for watching +TV Africa's Tea Time. My name is Ife Oshunke. Enjoy this video again from Burna Boy Onyeka.
I say my baby, you know Sunday or Wendy, you coming like Onyeka or Wendy, and if you give, I could take you, oh, shake you. I still dey study your case, you can no go make a mistake, you, and if you leave, I could praise you. You been a setup, you don't do your booty, now your body better. I no go live, I never make a no regret. Every day different palava. The other day when I jam Natasha, just say I give Lala day banana. Oh no be me to a mo na na na. One time for my baby, you. You know Sunday or Wendy, you coming like Onyeka or Wendy. And if you give, I could take you. Oh, shake you. I still dey study your case, you. You can no go make a mistake, you. And if you leave, I could praise you. Because you be my order. I put something for your hands. You give me some another. You go be my baby mama. I will push and go. Show more. That's about it done. She don't say it don't care when I do it for my turn. And then they catch you cool and they see I'm a turn. Your body make me strong, I've been in a Jackie Chan. But if you use me, Shanna, no go pick your car. So make you no go tell me at all. Say my baby, you know Sunday or Wendy, you coming like Onyeka or Wendy. And if you give, I could take you. Oh, shake you. I still dey study your case, you can no go make a mistake, you. And if you leave, I could praise you. Because you be my order. I put something for your hands. You give me some another. You go be my baby mama.
Contrary to popular belief, Corona is not a hoax. The virus is real. Be responsible. Wear a mask. Wash your hands with soap and water and avoid crowded places. Maintain physical distancing. Be responsible. Together, we can overcome the pandemic.
Hello, welcome to Plus Reports, a compilation of the stories and events that made the news recently. I'm Jacinta Obiuku. Earlier and even after February 1st, the due date for Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu's retirement, there were uncertainty over whether there will be an extension of his tenure, which some have frowned at or not. This report captured some mixed reactions. It is reported that a coalition of youths and students' organizations have tried to justify the reason why they want IGP Adamu reappointed for another tenure, which, according to them, is based on his achievements while in office. Now, part of the stories making headlines is the position of the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Cultural Group, Afenifere, who says the president should allow the Inspector General of Police to go upon his retirement. According to a security expert, the police boss has outlived his relevance.
This IGP has been able to bring the police force together. He has been able to contend with the political space. He has been able to contend with the environmental space. I think he is a professional, good department, and also I think he also has a respect for the rule of law based on his international exposure. For me, his relevance is not an avenue or a platform for his tenure to be extended.
This is also the angle of a legal practitioner, Malaki Ugummadu, who explains the legal implication of the extension.
The country is a country of over 250, of over 200 million persons, no less the number that is in the Nigerian police force, within which we can always fall back on that human resource to deal with the leadership of the Nigerian police force. So I don't think the uncertainty is necessary. I don't think we need it at this material time, considering the state of the security in the country generally. The tenure of the Inspector General of Police specifically is a question of law. And once it's a question of law, it means there is certainty. And once there is certainty, there should not be any ambivalence.
However, his outstanding response during the NSAS protest is not ignored.
If you look at the NSAS, you will realize that he responded to the call of the Nigerians to disband SARS, but he went on the other way to activate SWAT. I would want a new coming IGP to also tread on that path.
The immediate past heads of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. It was necessary to give room for the proper selection of a successor. Meanwhile, earlier before his date of retirement, the Inspector General of Police IGP Mohammed Adamu had visited Lagos, where he commissioned a block of flats for officers and assured them of federal government's commitment to their welfare. Plus TV's Aneta Felix has details.
The police boss, Mohammed Adamu, arrived Lagos on Wednesday to commission this building. It's a block of 10 flats for senior police officers. Adamu says the move is part of government's efforts in addressing the housing deficit in police barracks.
Our barracks all over the country require redevelopment, renovations, reconstruction, and we need to start from somewhere. And what we are seeing today is one of those initiatives to redevelop our existing barracks instead of allowing them to decay, and the officers are not getting a befitting place to stay.
He also assured officers that through the federal government's initiative of public-private partnership, all police barracks in the country would be developed.
Through public-private partnership, we built a lot of housing units for our personnel, but it's on personal basis. We build and we sell to our officers through mortgage at a lower prices. So that initiative is helping us a lot to both officially get residence for our officers and privately for officers to own their houses.
Construction engineer Abubakar Seidu noticed that most residents of police officers were built over 58 years ago, but will be demolished and rebuilt in due time.
As we unveil today, which is the reconstruction and redevelopment entirely from scratch and demolition of the old existing ones, of a new, total at the end of the day, 80 three-bedroom luxury flats, for which we're here to commission the phase 1 and the first stage of the development.
The new building was constructed in 9 months, and the police IG says that 8 additional ones will be completed in 36 months. Aneta Felix, Plus TV Africa.
Nice move there. I mean, it's high time the housing deficit in police barracks got addressed. And this is a step made towards restoring hope to farmers in Niger Delta. Appeal court in the Netherlands has ordered Royal Dutch Shell to pay compensation to Nigerian farmers over oil pollution which destroyed their farms. Details in this report.
The Hague Court of Appeal held Shell's Nigerian subsidiary liable for 2 leaks that spilled oil in 2 villages, saying that it could not be established beyond a reasonable doubt that saboteurs were to blame. Under Nigerian law, which was applied in the Dutch civil case, the company is not liable if the leaks were the result of sabotage. Meanwhile, the affected farmers involved in the case called the decision a victory for the entire Niger Delta region. They asked the multinational oil giant to pay the compensation to enable them start up life again.
It has made me so poor, and then I'm under suffering, even right now. My conditions, which Shell had made it impossible for me to survive, with my family and personally my body itself, I am suffering.
I was optimistic. The first lower court, I lost. And I told them, I am going to appeal because I know my position, I know my stand. I have no oil well in my environment, no pipeline in my environment. My father doesn't do oil business. My father is a typical farmer and a fisherman.
I believe that it will change the lives of my family because the Dutch court system is very, very different from the Nigerian court system.
Ken Saro-Wiwa predicted this. He said one day Shell will be in the dock, and that day is coming. And we have continued to see that happen over and over again.
The acting director, Environmental Rights Action ERA, Chima Williams, said the judgment will serve as a lesson to all multinationals which neglects the environment of the host communities in their operations.
It is a day that has given back hope to all Niger Deltans who are under the jackboot of the destruction of the multinational oil company.
It is also a lesson for the Nigerian judiciary. All things being equal, this case ought not to go to the Netherlands.
The court also ruled that Dutch-based mother company Royal Dutch Shell and its Nigerian subsidiary must fit a leak detection system to a pipeline that caused one of the spills.
This is, of course, a landmark judgment. It is the first time individual farmers will have their sources of livelihood, which was taken away by the environmental pollution in the Niger Delta, get reprieved. Still on Niger Delta, specifically Delta State, where a group, Ndokwa professionals, has decried what they describe as marginalization against their community in the state. This set of people at press conference this time in Lagos decided to call their state government's attention to the perceived neglect. Our correspondent, Destiny Momo, has more.
At the press conference organized by the League of Ndokwa Professionals, the President, Tony Amechi, and Publicity Secretary, Barrister Ivan Ufeli, cited the lack of development bedeviling the people of Ndokwa community. Sickle to the newly approved construction of roads in Delta State spread across the region with the exception of Ndokwa land and the recent move by Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to upgrade higher institutions across board, the group wondered why nothing was given to Ndokwa Ukwani land.
For Ndokwa land that has been contributing, majorly to the revenue base of Delta State, what has Delta State done in return, to show that the 13% derivation that the federal government is giving them on monthly basis, is being reflected?
There have been, consistent discrimination and disregard to that region. And what we are saying in effect is that the equitable distribution of the commonwealth of that state is what we are demanding for.
This group says the only visible structure provided by governments in the region is a prison stationed in Kwale. Against this backdrop, the President and Publicity Secretary made some demands.
We hereby call on the state government to review the road construction projects with immediate effect and make the necessary adjustment and include roads in Ndokwa land in the projects, avoid protests, social unrest, and or legal action.
The three higher institutions that is meant to be upgraded to universities, none is in Ndokwa land. And we have given the state 14 days within which to, do that failing which we'll have no other option than to proceed legally to get redress.
For a region playing host to the biggest gas plant and oil communities in the state, which drives 13% derivation to the state monthly, so much is expected by the people to compensate the indigenes being affected by environmental pollution.
This same region, people are gradually developing kidney failure, lungs disease and all that because of blindness, blindness because of the gas flaring and the environmental issues.
The consensus here is clear. Equitable distribution in primary health care and infrastructural development, among others, will go a long way in appeasing this group and its community at large. Destiny Momo for Plus TV Africa.
Well, we do hope the state government gets to do the needful. You're watching Plus Reports. We will bring you more after this break.
We can't talk about education reform if we don't decolonize our education system.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize. Because it's just cultural. And I think it's just human nature.
They stop paying us salary. I don't like remembering it.
I am angry at Nigeria. I'm angry at this government which seems to be letting us down. I am angry at us as a people.
In the process of struggling to free myself from his hand, he tore my pants and he raped me.
Yes, I committed offense truly.
Young girl, do you know where you are going? I say, I'm going to America. I say, oh. Now so that they talk, you are going to Libya. Which America?
As it then mark our place, some people they die now.
This is Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
Thanks for staying with us. To security now, this time around in southwest Nigeria, after the mayhem experienced in Ibarapa area of Oyo State between some angry youths in the community and Fulani settlers. Relative calm has returned to the ancient town of Igongo days after Seriki Fulani of the area was evicted by youths in Ibarapa North area of Oyo State. Plus TV Africa's correspondent takes a tour around the area to investigate the genesis and reason for the breakdown of law and order in the area. Meanwhile, viewers' discretion is advised, as you may find some images disturbing.
The caretaker chairman of Ibarapa Northwest Local Council Development Area, Igongon Daniel Okediji, expresses fear of reprisal attack by the Fulani groups as records of attacks has been reported at the suburbs of the town. Okediji stated that cases of highway armed robbery were rife before it escalated into kidnapping. Residents and farmers in Igongon Asunora, narrates their experiences with the armed Fulani, as many have been affected badly.
It is not these last 2 weeks that this thing started. It started a long time ago. Initially, it was a case of Fulani herders, the herdsmen, attacking the farmers on their farm. When they destroy the farm, the farmers want to react. Some of them, instead of pleading with the farmers, they start macheting them. So many people were macheted that way. Killing our people. When reaching our farm, they will just drove the owner of the farm away and hit all the materials inside. Even I got a farm there. It's about 30 acres, cashew farm. They have destroyed everything, and I reported the case to police at Aite. But when Seriki reached a police station, no case was done.
Ọjọ́ kejì tí wọ́n ti ń jẹ́ komi ni mo tó mọ̀ pé màálù tó àdúgbò ti ń parí oko àgbàdo àti oko pákí. Wọ́n dà over 20 acres. Wọ́n dẹ̀ finish ẹ̀ tán. At the end of the day, mo wí báyà àwọn ọmọ yẹn yarí. Mo wá fi sùúrù sí èmi púpọ̀ ní láàrin gbogbo wọn. But Fúlàní kan ṣoṣo ló wà láàrin àwọn màálù yẹn nínú oko mi. Àwọn yòókù ti jókòó lórí igi tí wọ́n dẹ̀ gungi pẹ̀lú àdá tí wọ́n fa gbó wọn. Tí wọ́n mú igbó wọn gidigidi.
Tí kò sí nǹkan kankan mo tipátipá náà mo tún ra nǹkan rẹ̀ ìpè ọdún ẹ̀ tó yẹ kó gbà. Àwọn ọmọ iṣẹ́ ẹ̀ tó kó wá náà wọn ò lá orí ọ̀fẹ́ àti ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́. Tí wọ́n bá ti dóko ẹ̀rù ń bà wọ́n náà wọn ò lè ṣe ṣiṣẹ́ kankan. So ohun tí àwa kàn fẹ́ rọ ìjọba sí pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ ti gbọmọgbọmọ onífìlàní yìí lóòótọ́ bíbélì pé ó dáa ká máa gbé ní ìrẹ́pọ̀ àmọ́ gbà tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n tó wà dé bá wọn báyìí tí kò sí gbádùn mọ́ a lè dá oko kẹ́yìn o pé òun lóko fúnra òun lọ roko kò sí wọ́n jọ o lè dá obìnrin rẹ lóko ìbálòpọ̀ tipátipá.
ẹnu oko ni wọ́n wà bá mi àwọn fúlàní dánidáni wọ́n máa ń fẹ́ràn ìjẹko ìjẹko tá a máa pẹ́ ẹ má jẹko mọ́ ẹ má wọko mọ́ wọ́n ṣe déńdé ọ̀nì wọ́n yìnbọn fún mi.
Ensuing for peaceful coexistence in the area, a delegation of Oyo State government officials and the new commissioner of police in the state toured the troubled spots of Ibarapa and areas of the state, where they conducted on-the-spot assessment of the tension-soaked communities. The caretaker chairman insisted that the evicted Seriki Fulani as kingpin in those nefarious activities.
Within the space of 1 week, 3 persons were kidnapped. One, we collected 2 million as ransom. Another one, 3.5 as ransom. Then the last one, that the petrol dealer there, 7.5.
The sitting chairman of Igana Local Government Development Council, Olaiwola Adeleke, also recalled his bitter experience as one of the victims in the axis of Ibarapa, as was made to sleep on the floor for 6 days and 6 nights before a ransom of 5.5 million naira was paid for his freedom.
All of a sudden, we had gunshots. So before we knew what was happening, these people came out of the bush with guns, rifles in their hand. So they said we should open the door. We opened the door. They began to slap us, me and my driver, beat us mercilessly, and they were even shooting the guns continuously to scare everybody away. They took us out of the car and then took us into the bush. So, and that is how we remained with them for 6 days, 6 nights. They are young boys. They are Fulani indigenous. They spoke Fulani language.
All attempts to get across to evicted Seriki Fulani and their representatives proved abortive, as records of reprisal attack were allegedly being carried out by suspected armed herdsmen after the eviction. Although Southwest governors, including Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, recently agreed to allow grazing, residents and traditional ruler in Ibarapa North insist on total eviction. But the chairman calls for caution that only the bad eggs should be evicted.
àwọn Fúlàní tí ń bẹ ní àdúgbò àti ké sí wọn pé wọ́n ṣera fún wa torí ohun tá à ń gbọ́ yìí ni kí wọ́n fi ilẹ̀ wa kí wọ́n fi ilẹ̀ fún wa káwa ó sì máa gbégbé àlàáfíà lọ.
To my own definition, is evicting the bad Fulanis, the wicked one, the callous one. That is, to my own definition, evicting them. This is one Nigeria.
With this relative calm being experienced, security experts and analysts alike are of the opinion that if government fulfilled its own bargain of ensuring the safety and welfare of its citizens, harmonious and peaceful cohabitation would be a low-hanging fruit.
Sadly, there are reports that part of the community has witnessed reprisal attack. The desire for many is that it will not be a mere political solution, but a true, genuine effort to tolerate one another. We move over now to National Identity Number registration deadline, which was extended by another 8 weeks. Surprisingly, this news didn't spark any excitement among a cross-section of Lagos residents spotted on a queue to have their registration sorted out. They are instead demanding creation of more registration centers to ease the process. I was there to bring the report. With a new deadline of April 6, 2021, it will be the second time the registration deadline is extended. Yet, here at National Identity Management Commission headquarters, nothing has changed as people are still crowded despite the pandemic and have expressed disinterest in the deadline extension, saying it makes no difference.
What I think should be done is to create more venues for people so that we can have access to your NIN. A lot of people, like myself, I've done it before and I just need the sleep. And the sleep is bringing me here. And I'm told that if I come here by 4 a.m. in the morning, I will not even take number 20.
They should allow the banks to handle this kind of thing since everybody have the BVN. And it's almost the same processing.
No, to me, I would prefer they should increase the centers. Like, imagine 1 million of people coming to one center and then not even doing what you came for that day. It's not fair, it's not right.
If more centers have been created, I believe you won't be seeing much crowd here, like this at this Alausa center.
Shifting this, to me, is not a solution. Because even if you build it any time, there will be crowd.
Here is an individual who narrates another angle to his ordeal in obtaining his NIN.
I did my own on the 4th of January. And since then, I have been going to all network companies. They refuse to appear in their system. They keep on telling me it's fake, it's fake. And I lost my 4 SIM cards, as I'm talking to you now, since January 31st. That is since December 31st till now. I don't have 1 SIM to use. I've been coming here, they should verify. They keep on telling me it's original. I go to network company, they say it's fake. So I don't know who to hold. Now the workers here are even running for me. And I did it here.
The extension conveyed by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, during the meeting of the Ministerial Task Force on NIN SIM registration, states that the extension is to give Nigerians and legal residents more time to integrate their NIN with the SIM.
Despite the shift of the deadline of the registration, Lagos residents seen here are still not happy, expressing worry, especially due to the stress and the pandemic.
It's health concern here, and my take is that there shouldn't even be any form of gathering since the pandemic is still very much around. And speaking of COVID-19, the need for meaningful contribution of individuals and corporate bodies to complement government's efforts at reducing the rate of poverty has been stressed in this next report.
No fewer than 400 vulnerable persons benefited in the empowerment, which include business grant of 20,000 naira each to petty traders, cash benefit of 10,000 naira as palliatives for the aged. Others include walking aids to persons with disabilities, vocational equipment to beneficiaries to either start up or augment their businesses. The Sustainable Impact Aid said the gesture is to complement government's efforts at reducing socio-economic challenges occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic.
You can only create wealth if it's a thing of the mind, yeah? And then there's been a platform for them now, and the platform is they've given out financial aids, we've given out equipment for them to learn, to grow the works they've learned. I want to encourage them not to sell the machines, to use it to create wealth, make their savings from it, and eventually grow a proper business from it.
Among the beneficiaries, there are also people with disabilities that are formally applied to benefit from the program. So we have those people with disabilities among the beneficiaries of our palliatives, business grants, and the vocational equipment.
Osun State Commissioner for Women and Children Affairs was represented by a director in the ministry, Oluwatoyin Oyetola, lauded the organization for the gesture, which he says has the capacity to complement government's determination to keep poverty at bay. The beneficiaries promised to use the items received for the betterment of the social and economic status.
Government alone cannot do it. Government has a lot of things to do. So what they are doing is that they are complementing the efforts of the government.
This is the period of a COVID-19 pandemic. It's affect everybody globally, most especially we people with disability. We are highly affected.
The beneficiaries include both the young and old, including people with special needs who were drawn from the 3 senatorial districts in the state.
Well, the take home here is that it is a collective effort to keep up with the fight against the pandemic. And as a wrap on today's edition of Plus Reports, let's remind you to follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. I'm Jacinta Ubiugu. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for joining us on Plus TV News Brief. I am Osaogie Ogbonwa. No fewer than 2 persons have reportedly lost their lives when some suspected herdsmen attacked the men of the Ondo State Security Network Agency, also known as Amotekun Corps. The incident occurred on Thursday in Sanusi village in the Owo local government area of Ondo State. Those who lost their lives were a farmer and a member of a vigilante group whose identities were yet unknown as at the time of filing this report. The operational motorcycles and vehicle of the Amotekun Corps were reportedly set ablaze by the bandits too. The attack occurred when the Amotekun men and other security agents were carrying out the order of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu to flush out the headsmen who are illegally occupying the forest reserves in the state. The Oyo State Police Command has paraded over 20 crime suspects for committing various crimes, including murder, kidnapping, arson, defilement, looting, and courtesan, among others.
Some of the suspects included people arrested in connection with the murder of owner of Suba Filling Station, Sherifat Adisa, in Igbora, Idere Road, in Ibarakwa Central Local Government Development Area of Oyo State. 4 other persons were also paraded over the abduction of the caretaker committee chairman of Igana Local Council Development Area, Jacob Adeleke, in October 2020 along Igana Ado Awaye Road. The police commissioner said they disposed the council chairman of his personal effects and also collected a ransom of 5.5 million naira. The victim vividly identified the suspect who had confessed to the crime.
One of the cases is arrest of a dreaded syndicate and mastermind of the kidnap of a local government chairman along Igono-Ado Awaye Road. Subsequently disposed him of all his personal effects, and a ransom of 5,500,000 naira was paid. The victim vividly identified the suspect who had confessed to the crime. The suspects are Babuga Mohamadu, Rabiu Mohamadu, Usman Mohammed, and Aliyu Mohammed. To the members of the press, I assure you of a robust police-media relations.
Meanwhile, Oyo State Commissioner of Police, Ngozi Onodeko, stated that a notorious kidnapping syndicate that has been terrorizing Ibarapa people invaded Supawa filling station with sophisticated weapons like AK-47 rifles, cutlasses, and other dangerous weapons.
The governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, has called for a state of emergency over insecurity. Otom also said the federal government has failed in protecting farmers from criminal herdsmen. The governor said many of the complicit herdsmen are foreigners who migrated into the country to graze their cattle, thus the need to ban open grazing completely.
If a state of emergency is not declared on security in this country, we may wake up one day and discover that we have no country. And the worst thing is that most or almost all the herdsmen who are terrorizing this country, they are not even Nigerians. I have said this several times. Mr. President also admitted this when he visited United Arab Emirates and confirmed that truly those herdsmen with arms are not Nigerians. They are from Chad, they are from Mali, they are from Senegal, they are from other countries.
Still in the news, the Nigerian Governors Forum says it has reached a consensus on the need for the country to transit into modern systems of animal husbandry, which will replace open, night and underage grazing in the country. In a communique issued at the end of its 25th virtual meeting and signed by Forum Chairman Kayode Fayemi, the governors were encouraged to put in place systems to accelerate the grazing initiative of the National Livestock Transformation Plan and ranching in the country. The consensus was reached to address the rising insecurity in the country, which has been linked to armed herdsmen operating as bandits. Meanwhile, the forum condemned the ethnic profiling of crime in the country and resolved to convene an emergency meeting of all the governors on the matter. Nigerian politician and humanitarian Ned Nwoko has urged Nigerians to shun the politics of zoning and vote the best candidate who will deliver the country from its various challenges irrespective of affiliation. The one-time parliamentarian made the call during an address to journalists in Abuja. The businessman reminded Nigerians that the power to effect real change remains in their hands.
I am not one of those that believe in Hausa president or Igbo president or Yoruba president. I just believe that the best person to be elected to address the many problems of Nigeria.
Still in the news, the federal government says it will not allow the destabilization of Nigeria and the perpetration of violence in the country under the guise of End SARS protest. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, at a press conference stated this ahead of a planned protest at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos on Saturday. Mohammed said Nigerian activists have linked up with their foreign counterparts, including subversive elements, with a view to destabilizing the country. This is contained in a text of his speech from the conference shared on the official Twitter handle of the Ministry of Information and Culture. The Occupy Lekki tollgate campaigners are kicking against the decision to reopen the tollgate under the control of the Lekki Concession Company. And while it's no longer news that the Federal High Court has ordered the CBN to unfreeze the 20 NSAS protesters' accounts, what is then the new conversation? And of course, how the Apex Bank will completely and fully apply to this directive. Plus, TV Africa's correspondent Destiny Momo has more.
In the wake of the post-NSAS protest, the central bank sought an ex parte application to freeze the accounts of some of the leaders of the nationwide protest, which was granted for 90 days. But by Wednesday, 10th of February, the presiding judge Ahmed Mohamed ordered that the accounts be unfrozen following the agreement by the legal teams of the CBN and the defendants to end the case. Will there be an immediate compliance to the ruling, or will there be an appeal?
CBN in itself is an act of parliament. It's an institution that needs to operate with the principle of must operate with principle of social justice and law. But if it's joining itself in a bandwagon of political and euphoria, when politicians want to take charge of situation, they don't operate on institutionalized level. They operate on self and individualistic selfish interest.
Access Bank, in which 8 of the accounts are domiciled, had issued a public apology after some Nigerians started a social media trend calling on customers to close their accounts with the bank for allegedly colluding with the government to oppress the protesters. The important point is that all court orders are binding. Some analysts argue that they must be complied with by the parties in a case. Could the court's order be precise or not?
It's another case in its entirety, because we've known in the recent time this is a government that chooses which court order to obey, and court orders are now mere figment of imagination of those court rulings or the judges that are bringing up. And to me, I'm partially afraid that beyond the unfreezing itself, are we free? If that is the case, it's not just unfreezing an account that tells us that we are free. It's a locus classical.
The 20 account holders affected by the freezing order had participated in or contributed to the NSAS protests, which were triggered by grievances arising from years of harassment and rights violations by operatives of the defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. The protest led to the disbandment of Police Tactical Squad in October last year. Destiny Momo for Plus TV Africa.
Thanks to Destiny Momo for that report. Still in the news, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has described the late former governor of Lagos, Lateef Jakonde, as a core Democrat and true patriot. In a letter to Jakonde's widow, Abimbola, Obasanjo said, "The first civilian governor of Lagos will be sorely missed by all of us." The former governor died in the early hours of Thursday at 91. And former Lagos State Governor Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has described the first civilian governor of the state, Lateef Jakonde, who died on Thursday, as the last of the political titans. Tinubu said the late Jakonde could be appropriately described as the last of the titans, ranking with the likes of Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Adekunle Ajasin, Pa Abraham Adesanya, Bola Ige, Olabi Onabanjo, Balarabe Musa, and Aminu Kano, among others. He said the late Jakonde was also a mature statesman, never given to the histrionics of fanning the embers of disunity. Now for some COVID-19 updates, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has recorded 938 new infections of COVID-19 on Thursday. In a Twitter update via its verified handle, the government agency said there are now 143,516 confirmed cases of the disease caused by the novel coronavirus in Nigeria. It stated that a total of 118,012 people have so far been discharged from hospital, while the number of deaths so far is 1,710. As of Thursday, more than 107.6 million cases of COVID-19 had been reported worldwide, with more than 60.1 million of those cases listed as recovered or resolved in a tracking tool maintained by the Johns Hopkins University. And deaths from COVID-19 in Africa have surged by 40% in the last month, pushing Africa's death toll towards 100,000 since the first reported case on the continent on the 14th of February 2020. This comes as Africa battles new, more contagious variants and gears up for its largest ever vaccination drive.
In the first year of this pandemic in Africa, more than 3.7 million cases have been reported. And in the coming week, the continent is projected to pass a devastating marker of 100,000 lives sadly lost to this virus. Deaths from COVID-19 have increased by 40% in the last 28 days compared to the previous 28 days. The increasing deaths from COVID-19 are a tragic warning that health workers and health systems in many countries are dangerously overstretched. The one-year milestone comes as the continent faces the spread of new strains of virus. While a vaccine that protects against all forms of COVID-19 illness is our biggest hope, preventing severe cases and hospitalizations which overwhelm hospitals and health systems is crucial. Go out and get vaccinated when a vaccine becomes available in your country.
Still in the news, President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa has secured millions of doses of Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer vaccines to fight the highly infectious COVID-19 variant that is dominant in the country. During a televised annual State of the Nation address, Ramaphosa said South Africa had secured 9 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, of which 500,000 will arrive over the next 4 weeks. He said another 20 million Pfizer doses were also on the way.
We have secured 12 million vaccines from the COVAX facility. This will be complementing other vaccines that are available to South Africa through the African Union's Acquisition Task Team facility that we set up. Pfizer has committed 20 million vaccine doses, commencing with deliveries at the end of the first quarter. We are continuing our engagement with all vaccine manufacturers to ensure that we secure sufficient quantities of vaccines that are suitable for our conditions in terms of the variant that we have here.
Welcome back. And now for news stories in other parts of Africa. U.S. President Joe Biden has extended the national emergency with respect to Libya by 1 year, according to the White House. The first emergency was declared on February 25, 2011, during the era of Muammar Gaddafi, whose government was accused of using violence against civilians and misappropriating Libyan state assets. Biden also notified House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the Senate leadership in a letter saying he has determined it necessary to continue the national emergency. Libya has been torn by civil war since the ouster of Gaddafi in 2011. Now, outside Africa, a court appearance by jailed Russian opposition politician Alexei Navalny has resumed with a testy exchange with a judge in a slander case involving a World War II veteran, resuming a trial that was interrupted last week. The anti-corruption campaigner has described the slander case as a fabricated Kremlin public relations campaign meant to harass and discredit him. Navalny is accused of slandering a World War II veteran who took part in the promotional video in support of last year's constitutional amendments that cleared the way for President Vladimir Putin to run for 2 more terms in office after 2024 if he wants. As the process resumed on February 12, Navalny and his lawyers expressed frustration also that while filming was prohibited at the hearing, some national media outlets received video feeds taken from the courtroom. And still in Russia, its Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says Moscow is ready to sever ties with the European Union if the bloc hits it with painful economic sanctions, according to extracts of an interview posted on the ministry's website on Friday. Relations between Russia and the West have come under renewed pressure over the arrest and jailing of Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny, which has sparked talk of possible new sanctions. 3 European diplomats said the European Union was likely to impose travel bans and asset freezes on allies of Russian President Vladimir Putin, possibly as soon as this month, after France and Germany signaled their willingness to move ahead. Pressure for sanctions has grown since Moscow infuriated European countries last week by expelling German, Polish and Swedish diplomats without telling the EU's foreign policy chief, who was in Moscow for a visit. Paris and Berlin now say there must be a response. And now in business, the Minister of State for Transportation, Senator Gbemisola Saraki, says that Nigeria ratifying its membership in the African Continental Free Trade Agreement is an opportunity to leverage its advantageous geographical position. Saraki said this on Thursday during the virtual AFC-FTA Implantation Engagement Series on Seafarers. The minister, who was represented by a director in the Federal Ministry of Transportation, Ibrahim Abdul Qadir, said that more was needed to be done, even with the vast geographical position. According to her, the ministry has embarked on some initiatives which would contribute towards the objectives of making Nigeria the transportation hub in Africa. And now in entertainment, one of Davido's aides, Israel Afere, has apologized for claiming that DJ Cuppy is a fake friend and never paid Zlatan a dime after they collaborated on the hit song Gelato. It all started after DJ Cuppy took to Twitter to reveal that Zlatan had blocked her on all platforms 10 months after they released Gelato. Zlatan later reacted during an interview by claiming he doesn't know who Cuppy is, despite releasing a song with her. The public was ignorant of the cause of Zlatan's change in behavior until Israel took to his Instagram stories to claim Zlatan never made a dime from the collaboration. And then in sports now, Bayern Munich have won the FIFA Club World Cup, becoming the second club after Barcelona to win the sextuple after beating Mexican side Tigres UANL to the Royal Diadem at the Education City Stadium in Qatar. Pavard's close-range tap-in was enough to give the European champions Bayern their 6th title within 12 months. This is the 8th year in a row that the Champions League winners have gone on to win the Club World Cup, as Bayern follow in the footsteps of last year's champions Liverpool. Bayern are the second side to win all 6 available titles within a year after Barcelona managed the feat in 2009. And that's the news at this hour. For more news updates, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories. I am Osaogie Ogbonwa. Thank you for watching.
we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
He suffered equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect am. If you no talk, dem go beat you. Na 2,500 I dey pay.
For upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
You are one family.
There's no dream of this sport in Nigeria.
See how your body just dripping diamond.
I would take the vaccine on a condition. That is, if our politicians, the leaders, will test it first and will see it works in them before I will go into that.
Yes, I will, but due to what they say that prevention is better than cure, so I will take the vaccine for the purpose of in case of. But for me, I didn't believe there is COVID-19 in Nigeria.
It will depend on the science behind it, who's behind it, the pharmaceutical company behind it, the research behind it. Like I said, it's based on the science that is behind it. Can they show that they understand what COVID-19 is?
Would you take it?
For anything, because I can't even experience that thing. My family and me, my people, we can never encounter that kind of COVID-19 because there is no COVID-19 in Nigeria.
I will not take it anymore. And anybody work close to me, I will not allow him to take anything like vaccine. I go school, I know something like about something like that. So I will not take myself to taking something like vaccine. Because I not take like something like corona would attend to me, right? Because I didn't believe on it. That's it.
No. The whole corona, whatever, all those ones is a lie, I know. So it's a lie. So why will I take anything about corona or whatever? No, I won't take it.
Yeah, from my own point of view, I don't think I would want to. The reason is this: I might need them to run a check on it and then test someone else. Then if it works perfectly, then who am I to say no?
I'll take just profession myself now, to prepare myself. So, as far as all over the world, I take it to just, have another cure for now, even in this country. So I'll take the vaccine to secure myself, my family, my children, my wife.
I will take it if it's real, if it's not fake. It's fake. Everything they are doing is fake.
No. Why? They should use it to treat their family, not us. Nothing is wrong with us. We are not sick.
lè lo kò sílé kò ń bì. Nọ́mbà tó ló ń wà tó bá ti rẹ̀ yàn kọ́ má rí pé yàn wúkọ́ àbẹ́yàn sick lásán ọmọ àná ní COVID-19 nìyẹn.
Yeah, definitely I would if it's 100% guaranteed. If other people are taking it and things are really going on well, why not? I would take it.
I don't know. I will have to test the authenticity first.
Yes, it's for our safety. It's for our being. The deadly disease is everywhere. So we need to protect ourselves to be alive. Yes.
Of course, I will take it if it becomes available.
Why would you take it?
Because you have to be part of the global community. You can't isolate yourself from what is happening in the world. Everybody knows that COVID-19 is ravaging the world. It's a fact. So if something comes up, you understand, to prevent you from having COVID-19, you just have to trust your instinct and take it.
Abraham, Moses, Jacob, you are one family. You are going to win this sport in Nigeria.
See how your body just dripping diamond.
We can't talk about education reform if we don't decolonize our education system.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize. Because it's just cultural. And I think it's just human nature.
They stop paying us salary. I don't like remembering it.
I am angry at Nigeria. I'm angry at this government which seems to be letting us down. I'm angry at us as a people.
In the process of struggling to free myself from his hand, he tore my pants and he raped me.
Yes, I commit offense truly.
Young girl, do you know where you are going? I say, I'm going to America. I say, now so that they talk, you are going to Libya, which America?
As it then mark our place, some people they die now.
This is Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
A lot of the jobs that exist today will not exist in the next 10 years. 10 years.
When I see people today shouting, we're not too young to run, we are ready to run. Ready to run to where?
The people of excellence are, to a certain extent, being held ransom by idiots and bandits.
Once you are in government, you believe everything you do is right. And once you are in opposition, everything the government does is wrong.
And so it's time for us to take over power.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Osayua Mesale, and today, this is a back-to-back alone in the studio moment for me. All right, so I'm alone in the studio, but I'm being joined via Zoom. Lami, is Lami there? Hey, Lami, or Lamide Onifade, our one and only lady lawyer.
Hello, Uma. How are you doing?
I'm good. How is everything? I see we are back to our red lipstick.
What? At least I did a good job of mixing it. Before, I used to be just on my red lipstick. So I've been trying to juggle it. So give me thumbs up.
Absolutely, absolutely. So how are you doing? How is Feni Pupu, my Dr. Feni?
She's doing great, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so today we have an interesting...
And how was the day?
Well, so I had a very long day. You know, I've been up since 5 a.m. I had a series of meetings, you know, and I'm resuming my MBA back because I took a break for 2 months. So I'm resuming, and trust me, I don't know how I'm going to share myself. Huh?
Same for me. I went to the island today. I had a series of meetings, and I had to pick my daughter up at 2:30 in school. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the school till 3:30.
Wow.
She was the last person.
There's no way you would have made it to the studio. There was no way. All right, so today we have an interesting conversation. I don't think Uti is there yet, but when she comes, we'll bring her up. But here's what we found as today's quote. This quote, violence is the last refuge of the incompetent. Oh, my goodness. When I saw this quote, I said, oh, my God, is it possible that we have a lot of incompetent people around us? That's why whenever certain things happen, it just seems like, you know what, let's just introduce violence so that, you know, I don't know. Lami, what do you think?
Absolutely. I think the quote is really, really apt. I think violence should be the last resort of any person. But unfortunately, it's always the first resort. I don't know why, but
Absolutely. All right, so how prepared our law enforcement agencies should violence ensue? That's our question today. And Uti, Lami, and I will be discussing this tonight on Ladies' Night Out. Yes, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we love our Ladies' Night Out. But first, let's take a break for what's in the news.
We can't talk about education reform if we don't decolonize our education system.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize. Because it's just cultural. And I think it's just human nature.
They stop paying us salary. I don't like remembering it.
I am angry at Nigeria. I'm angry at this government which seems to be letting us down. I'm angry at us as a people.
In the process of struggling to free myself from his hand, he tore my pants and he raped me.
Yes, I commit offense truly.
Young girl, do you know where you are going? I say, I'm going to America. I say, now so that they talk, you are going to Libya. Which America?
Curantism, they are completely blind.
They
do not know what to do before we break